a lot is spoken about, Akshata, about politics of it all. Haryana is going into election. An issue like this, with the government possibly not stepping in, works for their politics in Haryana. Why does it work for their politics in Haryana? Is usually, if you look at how Haryana voted, in the last election or the last, or the election before that, there has been, the last two elections, a clear divide between what is considered the Jat vote and other communities. The Congress traditionally has now come to represent the Jat vote. So for them, for any political party, if you're looking at it from that perspective, then definitely trying to pinhole the Jat community in one corner works for them in Haryana, works for the BJP in Haryana. So do you get what I'm saying? And that's the state which even with the consolidates the other communities on one side.
Even with the Khafs involved in this, it actually works for the BJP to be quiet about it?
The Khafs represent the Jat community. The Jats are not the dominant community in Haryana. Politically dominant before the BJP, yes. But they are not in terms of, if you just look at their population, they are not. So if you, take away the Jat community, and that's how, any political analyst will tell you the last two elections in Haryana were fought from the basic premise that you isolated one, politically isolated one community. It's not that you isolated them in terms of benefits. No, you gave it to all.
India has lost out on opportunities to actually host wrestling events. Asian Games was supposed to be holding a wrestling event in India. They took away that opportunity from India because this investigation was not initiated at that point. Even that did not lead for the police to actually fast-track this investigation. So they're okay to compromise with the country's image globally on this sporting fraternity only for the sake of politics. And that's what's tragic.
So does bad press not matter for this government?
But bad press to what extent? Mainstream media.
I think it's all, again, it's a measure, right? There's a certain amount of, it's like a company that says, we're willing to, incur losses for the next 3 years to build something bigger, because there's something bigger coming on the other side of it. Similarly, it could be that kind of a model. But I want to, since we're almost out of time, I want the last round of questions. I wanted to, take it away from not just what we've seen happen, but how each of us feel about it as well. This isn't just a women's issue. Sexual harassment, we've seen Me Too happen in this country. This is a colossal Me Too moment. Okay, I honestly don't know why it hasn't triggered an even bigger Me Too movement beyond just the wrestlers. But as women with agency, as women with with power, with access and facilities, how do the four of you feel about seeing these people out there, with legitimate allegations and seeing no action taken in the full glare of the media, in the full public eye?
I'll just begin by saying that the reason I believe that, yes, there's outrage, but the reason I believe that most people are not connecting with this is that typical rural-urban divide that we see in the country. With Nirbhaya, there was this uprising. Are we seeing that in this case? No. You've got wrestlers support coming in, but not enough clearly. As a woman, I think we've seen so many of these slogans, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, do that on the ground. Translate that to concrete action. The Modi government may be scared of bad optics right now, but look at what they did with the farm laws. They didn't shy away from, just months before the Punjab elections, taking a complete U-turn on that. So forget bad optics. It's hopefully not too late for them to actually act and ensure that the wrestlers get justice.
Because the government has said that they, even if belatedly, they said they've taken action, and now
I don't think any of us are satisfied with the action that's been taken.
Obviously, it happened in a belated manner.
And we're not saying crack the whip. We're saying investigate. Like Preeti said, we're not saying that what they've alleged is the gospel truth. But the investigation has been so marred, has so many loopholes that you're
starts with an arrest, and there's no compromise with that. There is a Pocso case. You may argue that the Pocso girl, the victim who is a minor, has withdrawn a sexual harassment case, but you still have the Pocso case that still stands. You have 6 of the other adults whose FIRs of sexual harassment that still stands. You have 4 witnesses, out of which one is a referee since 2007, worked with Brij Bhushan, who's spoken to India Today as well. You have 1 Commonwealth gold medalist, another girl who's testified before the police. You have some serious allegations. And it starts with an arrest.
How did you personally feel, Sneha? You're the mother of a daughter as well.
Yes.
Watching this, how did you feel?
Terrible, and like I said very outset, if anybody looks horrible in this is the BJP government. Also, give them the benefit of doubt. These are wrestlers who've been struggling for a while now. This FIR is dated 2021. One point in the FIR that really stood out for me was when one of the wrestlers, Shiv, said that Brij Bhushan, Sharan Singh said, sleep with me, I'm going to buy you nutritional supplements. That's exploitation at its worst. These girls who probably don't come from very well-off backgrounds, would need help of this nature, and then to exploit them and torture them, physically, mentally, I think whatever the case is, whatever the truth is, just keep that aside.
And we hope that entire truth comes out in this investigation.
The government should have been seen siding with the wrestlers.
Yeah.
Even at the cost of a few seats in UP, I think that should have been the case.
Imagine it doesn't even take... Olympic faces are protesting. They can't get justice.
Preeti, last minute.
What I just feel is that one thing we've seen repeatedly is that this is a government that doesn't want to seem to be weak, not succumb under pressure. So it's maybe that they're going to take their time and they're going to do it at their own time. Later on. They'll take the action, not seem to be forcing that their hand has been forced, is what I feel. One. Two, I think, we've seen the Sea Voter survey. It's up on the wall in terms of where even NDA supporters are saying they actually believe the wrestlers and the government mishandled the situation. So that's for the government to read as well. Lastly, I just want to say, I don't believe it's a woman's issue. Being women, with agency, it's not a woman's issue.
Yeah.
It's about everyone in this country needs to talk about it, and only then will issues like this will become bigger if it is equal for a Nakshata in a Shiv. And, for example, how does it get bigger? Wrestlers, yes, but they are women. So if an MJ Akbar is equal to a Brij Bhushan, then tomorrow a Brij Bhushan needs to be equal to a Vaira Muthu. It all has to come under the same umbrella.
Yeah.